Board of Chosen Freeholders is hereby called to order. Madam Clerk, can you please call roll?
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Present.
Freeholder Vice President Gill, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Present.
Freeholder Jones.
Present.
Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Richardson.
Here.
Freeholder Sebo.
Present.
Freeholder Toro.
Present.
Freeholder President Timberlake.
Here. Please stand to salute our flag. I'm going to ask if Freeholder Toro please lead us in the salute. And please remain standing for a moment of silence, and please let's all remember the victims of the hurricane. Thank you. I have before me a certification from the clerk that this meeting is indeed in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, are there any transcripts to be approved?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay. Are there any topics of discussion?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to move to our public comment session. Are there any members of tonight wishing to comment on agenda items only? If so, please come forward, state your name and affiliation for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Monitor by the clock to my right.
You get to choose.
Okay, hearing none. Are there any members of the public wishing to speak on any issue at all? Please come forward, state your name and affiliation for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening, Madam President, freeholders.
Good evening.
It's been a while since I've been up here, and I had a lot on my mind and a lot that's on the agenda, but I'm only going to speak on to a few things to let known to what I feel and what's going on. It was a great day up at the Turtleback Zoo yesterday. Everybody was having such a good time, and there's so much to deal with up there at the Turtleback Zoo. They don't have really the time to get around to everything. I didn't even get a chance to get up into the zoo like I did last year. But I was greeted up there, and it made me feel good. I felt like a Michael Jackson. Everybody know me and talked to me, taking my picture with Joe D and everything. And I said, wow. I said, this is really something. People know who I am and what I'm about as a horseman and working for the city for 10 years, being a horseman. But since I became freeholder, I'm very disappointed. I mean, not freeholder, but a district leader down in the South Ward. I'm very disappointed in the way things have been, because it seemed like I was doing better as a citizen. And I said that I was in with the people for what I was doing. Everybody knew me as a horseman, but when I got out of the system, it seemed like I was going to try to help the people, and that seemed like it was a bad idea. And I don't know what it is about the system and the people. I just don't understand why that they're not. I understand now why they're not getting any help, and I don't feel bad for what has happened to me about being homeless or what, because it's been like 24 hours a day. I'm out there seeing what's going on, and it's a lot more that I've learned since I've been homeless, and it wasn't meant for me. I feel like Jesus Christ out in the wilderness, and being known, but isn't being followed. So I wanted to say that there is leaders, and then there is followers, and then there is leaders, and then there's disappointments of leaders. And I came up here the first time, and I said to you, Timberlake, that I know your name, and your name, well, I was shown to who I'm a seer, and I said it was breaking knee now, timber, and it falls into the lake. And the lake is the water, and the water is the word. And I know that you are the one to lead this pack and see that things are done. But I will talk a little bit later in the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cowboy. And Mr. Cowboy, I have to ask you for something. Since I'm the leader of the pack, I have to ask you something seriously, okay? I want you to please take advantage of the services through our office and for Mr. Maurice Brown, because they have showed me where they are trying to help you to not be homeless, but unfortunately, there may not necessarily be placement in the same district that you were originally a district leader. Now, Mr. Cowboy, I can't even imagine, how you must feel, because you want to be in a particular location, that's where you would want to be, and I understand that. But I do know that they are trying, so if you please, again, give them a call, and I know that they have given you a call, and I see some of our administrators shaking their head, because I have followed up very closely on your situation. And, we do have an entire department that is there to help people, and I want you to take advantage of everything that department is. Okay? Are there any other members of the public wishing to comment on any issue at all? You just walked in just in time, huh? Come forward, Mr.
Good morning.
Jackson.
How's everyone?
Very well. How are you?
I'm glad I was detained downstairs. Good evening. I was detained downstairs having a little, so I'm glad to see that we're jumping full into the relief effort wherever we're, Puerto Rico and other islands, that we're helping people, so that's a good thing. Couple of things going on. I want to first make some requests. I would like to know from this body how many people are still waiting for Medicaid approval. Last time I checked the number, it was 85 to 90,000 people that had families and people that had not been processed. That's criminal. And it's criminal because now when you file your taxes, if you don't have insurance, there is a penalty every time. Secondly, I would like to know why there is such a delay of 6 to 9 months for the County of Essex to process food stamps. People are applying online, people are bringing in the paperwork, they're going to Windows 6, they're taking their things, they have their yellow slips, and 6 months, 9 months, nothing. No card, no money, nothing. I, Donna Jackson, have done over 35 welfare fair hearings in the last 3 months. 10 of them I wasn't scheduled for. They were people that were sitting in the hallway that I offered to help, and that's how it happened. So we have, I want you also to, Oprah, how many fair hearings you guys are doing? I don't know, the staffing level for Essex County Welfare is horrendous. We do not have enough people, and we need to get on that ASAP. Some of the people that are coming in as clients can be caseworkers, can be clerks, because they're laid off from other jobs. I don't understand why we're not creating a pool from people that are coming in. We're sending people to ridiculous job trainings and ridiculous mandates up at 50 South Clinton, which don't even match some of the people's profile. We need to do better with that as well. We are wasting millions of dollars at 50 South Clinton on training. You have people that already been trained, but because they're receiving food stamps and or some cash and or TRA, you force them to go to training again. They already been trained. There's nobody that's 50, 60, 70 years old, because you have some of those now because they have kids, should be going to anybody training. They could train us. 1 minute? Okay.
30 seconds.
45.6 milliseconds. Okay, I got you. So, you guys look at me when I come here, because Joe likes to think the parks are woo, but people can't sleep in parks. And the last thing I'd like you to, Oprah, is how many people receive TRA? I want a racial breakdown. And the reason I want that is because the families I'm dealing with are only getting TRA for 6 months. The other families I'm helping are getting it for 3 to 5 years. And I don't want to deal with the color issue right now, but I will at the next hearing, because it's beginning to be a problem. It's just closing real quick. If you own a home, I'm coming to you with 6 months TRA. This young man is coming to you with a year's TRA. Who are you going to rent the apartment to? So you're also not being fair to the homeowners while people are going through a difficult time. I really would like you guys to open requests. Let's get those numbers and see what's going on. And I know those Medicaid numbers are high, because guess what? I'm on that list. I'm on the food stamp list, and so are other people in my family. It is really beginning to be a problem in Essex County. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jackson. You made a comment. You said we look at you when you come here. No, actually, I've had conversations, and we appreciate when you come here, and we appreciate whenever you bring certain things to light that you're experiencing firsthand as a client. So through the administration, we request a formal detailed response to everything in which you brought up. And Freeholder Toro, I know, will also be looking out for that because she chairs that. So from the very beginning of this term of this entire body, it was clear that we wanted to make sure that everyone who walks through that welfare office is treated as if it's one of us who are walking in. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Anyone else wishing to comment on any issue?
Good evening. My name is Courtney Williams, president of the Weequahic Park Parents Playground Authority. I was here last meeting trying to get information on the playgrounds. I received a response at the meeting, but I'm not sure what year the budget for the playground is in. It didn't state that. I'm also waiting for a few other responses. But I just basically wanted to let you guys know that the parents are involved, and we would like to be involved in the process of the playground being built because we are the ones who are utilizing it. And that's basically it. I'm just waiting for the other responses. And
Thank you.
that's it. Thank you.
Do we have a document of when the response was sent, if it was sent? We're supposed to be getting responses out within 7 days. Okay. All right. Any other members of the public wishing to comment? Okay, hearing none, we're going to close public comment session. Madam Clerk, do we have any ordinances or resolution on introduction and first reading?
Madam President, we have none.
Do we have any ordinances and resolution on second reading and public hearing for listing purposes only?
Madam President, we have none.
Okay, and do we have any ordinances, resolution on second reading and public hearing tonight?
Madam President, we have none.
All right. So let's move to resolution number 1, and for the record, resolution number 2 and 4 has been withdrawn by the administration. And I am going to ask that you read resolution number 1, and then everything else will be read into the record at a later time.
Resolution 1, advise and consent nomination for the appointment of Reverend Dr. Linnell Guyton to the Essex County College Advisory Board of Trustees.
Okay, Mr. Jackson.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. The county executive is pleased to nominate Reverend Dr. Guyton to the Essex County Advisory Board of Trustees, and he's just here this evening to answer any questions that you may have of him.
Mr. Guyton.
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair, and to the board members.
Good evening. Please tell us about yourself. Tell us about your qualifications.
Well, I am the Reverend Dr. Linnell Guyton. I am currently the pastor of St. Matthew AME Church here in the great city of Orange, county of Essex. Qualifications, especially when it comes to education. I'm a former educator, was involved in education for 6 years, mainly as a 6th grade primary school teacher. Also, my background includes pastoring as well, where I've served on many boards, such as stated on the resume.
Okay, thank you. Freeholders? Freeholder Seabolt?
Thank you very much for being willing to give your time. I read your resume, and it's really very impressive, especially since you're a former educator and I'm a retired teacher. So it was very meaningful to me. And of course, St. Matthew AME Church in Orange is very well known in Essex County, and I'm very pleased that the county executive has recommended that you be on the Essex County College Advisory Board. We really need you there, and I know you'll do a good job. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, Freeholders? Freeholder Jones?
I'm happy too that the county executive have presented you to this board. I can go back a little bit more, Madam President, that his father was my minister from the New AME Church of Israel Memorial. I knew his brother, who was the principal, who was my principal at Brown Academy. I know Brent, your stepmother. Of course, she and I worked at Louise A. Spencer. So I know the Guyton family quite well, and if he's anything like his father and his brother, he would be an excellent, excellent candidate as to represent the college and on that board, because he has leadership ability, and I would be more than happy to sponsor Dr. Guyton.
Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Freeholders? Dr. Guyton, I first learned from you through the Pastors Network here in Newark, from Reverend Slaughter and some others. There's a lot going on at that college. I have drawn, as a leader in this community, a clear line in the sand, and everyone knows where I stand, and I stand on the side of the students and that college succeeding. I do not stand on the side of anything that is impeding in that very fact. So I'm going to be looking very closely and expecting great things from you and clear, definitive decisions that only have the students and the faculty's best interest at heart, because that's where my interest is. And so, you know, your work is going to be cut out for you
Yes.
on that board, and that college is very precious to this area, and is oftentimes the first opportunity that people from our area have to take advantage of higher education. And we cannot lose accreditation. We cannot lose that institution. So I'm looking at you in almost a laser tunnel and almost not seeing anyone here at all but you, because that's how important this is. Okay?
Thank you.
So with that, I'll second it, as Levy moved it, Freeholder Jones moved it. So we have a mover and a second. Madam Clerk, can you call a roll?
Yes. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Gill, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder Toro.
Yes.
Freeholder President Timberlake.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Madam President, and certainly to the board. Appreciate you.
Thank you. So, as stated before, Resolution 2 is withdrawn by the administration. Madam Clerk, I'm going to ask that you read into the record at a later time Resolution number 3. And Mr. Jackson, if you'd please explain.
Yes, Madam President. This is a contract for Computer Square to provide some software to the Sheriff's Office, and Mr. Coltre will give you more detail.
Good evening, Madam President. This software is a interface between the courts and the Sheriff's Department, and it's ECDRs, which are the complaints that would go with the courts to save time and effort for the future as we're going to computerization. And the software will not, hopefully not exceed $73,000.
Okay. Mr. McInerney?
The only question I have here is that there's, within the documentation, there are two invoices, one dated 5/27/2017 for $50,000, and one dated June 1st, 2017 for $23,000. This equals the amount of the $73,000. So have these invoices already been presented to the administration for payment?
I don't have those in front of me.
Yes, okay. But it's in the documentation, so. So that's the question I have. If as the service has already been rendered, given the fact that there's, or these invoices for the prior year, just that the amounts are the same.
It's not here. Yeah, I'll have to get back to it.
Mr. McInerney?
Yeah, I think it's an important point to know whether or not we're approving a contract where services have already been rendered. I'm just questioning. I'm only going by the documentation that was in the packet that we received. So.
Okay. So, in your professional recommendation, perhaps we should hold off on this one?
I'd like an answer to that. If maybe we can get it by the end of the meeting.
Cool.
All right. So we'll come back to number 3 by the end of the meeting. And if we don't have it, then we'll move to list it for action at our next meeting. Mr. Paulvecchia, did you have anything that you wanted to add to that?
No, I don't.
Okay. Freeholders, anything that you wanted to add? Okay. Please list it. Let's move to resolution number 5. Mr. Jackson?
Yes, Madam President, this is a budget insertion in the amount of $343,464 for Community Services Block Grant, and it provides, the amount is increased to $1,015,081. And Mr. McCoy is here to answer your questions about that, as well as items 6, 7, and 8, which are related.
Okay.
Good evening, Freeholders. Terrence McCoy, Division of Community Action. Community Service Block Grant is funds that are received through the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs to assist our low-income constituents with services and programs to help supply them with some form of self-sufficiency in the future with the services and programs. And the agencies that we subcontract with, who you met back in May, are East Orange Community Development Corporation, Irvington Neighborhood Improvement Corporation, and Montclair Neighborhood Development Corporation.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McInerney?
The only question I have here encompasses not only 5, but it's my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that 6, 7, and 8 are the monies this money being allocated. And the only issue that I have is that in 6, 7, and 8, if you add up those grants, they come to $350,322, and there's a difference, so it's only $6,500.
No, but there's an explanation.
And Madam President, through you, we, back on August 9th, we did a budget insertion of $90,229 that we did not subcontract out to the agencies that was in the county budget. So we had some funds left over from that we were able to use that to add on to what you had.
Okay, so that small difference is going to be paid by the
Yes, sir.
Reprogram.
Yes, reprogram.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
And this is, yeah, okay, fine, thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay. Mr. Paulvecchio?
No additional question.
Freeholders? All right. Please list it for action later this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Jackson, please move to resolution number 6.
Again, Mr. McCoy is here to answer those questions. They're related to...
Related is, yes, this
funds.
insertion, and then that's the actual. We'd like you to come back.
Terrence McCoy, Community Action.
Okay, so you want to just tell us a little bit maybe more about each group that's a recipient? You told us about the insertion of the funds.
Oh, each subcontracted agency, again, is East Orange Community Development Corporation, Irvington Neighborhood Improvement Corporation, and Montclair Neighborhood Development Corporation.
And what do they do?
Those agencies are social services agencies that provide many services exceptionally well for money management, with household budgets, rental assistance, which is their main focus. They have food pantries. They also subcontract for educational backgrounds with schools to do ESL, GED classes, and so forth.
Thank you. Mr. McInerney?
I don't have any questions on 6, 7, or 8.
Paulvecchio?
Yeah, just a question. Each of them obviously identify with one community, East Orange, Irvington, Montclair. Do they service any additional communities other than what they're named for?
Madam President, through you, all 3 agencies services all of Essex County residents with the exception of Newark, because Newark get their own pot of money from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Freeholders? All right, hearing none. Mr. Jackson, 7 as well.
Yes.
That was it. You just did 6, 7.
6, 7.
6, 7.
That's 6, 7, and 8.
Correct.
All of them rolled together.
Yes.
Yes, Madam
Okay.
President.
All right, I'm just asking because I only called 6, so just want to make sure. All right, any questions, Freeholders 6, 7, and 8? Recognizing Freeholder Len Luciana, who's now present with us. All right, we're going to move to resolution number 9, in which Madam Clerk will read into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson?
Yes, Madam President. This is an approval of municipal alliance contracts, and Sue Ortiz-Hands is here to answer your questions. Very happy that she's back. She had been out for a little bit. I'm very happy to see her back this evening.
Hi. Good evening, Madam President, entire Freeholder Board. Thank you to the County Administrator and the Deputy County Administrator. I was out for a 4-month leave of absence with a foot injury. I'm back temporarily because I'm actually going to be retired shortly. But I'm happy to be here this evening. We're presenting the Municipal Alliance contracts for the townships. These are for programs that are run for prevention and education on alcohol and drug addiction. So the programs could be anywhere from peer leadership groups to their program, Red Ribbon Week, which brings awareness about a police officer who was down at the frontera, near the Mexican border, who was killed in the line of duty. They also have parenting classes. It's a way of preventing our young folks from taking up these bad behaviors. And as you can know from reading the news or looking at your local paper, we're losing a lot of lives to heroin use and addiction. And this is a great way of bringing out awareness. So we're happy to present these contracts all to the different municipalities. It was supposed to be approved a month ago, but apparently there were some mathematical errors that we had to correct and get a resolution corrected for the Township of Irvington, and all that has been done. And on there is a matrix that shows you what the townships get. With the exception of Newark and North Caldwell, all the other townships participate in the program.
Thank you. Mr. McInerney?
I have no questions.
Mr. Paul Vecchio?
No questions.
Freeholders? Freeholder Seabold?
I'm glad you're back at work, Sue.
Thank you, Freeholder Seabold. One more thing before I go to sit down. I just have a little challenge for the Freeholder Board. October 6th, which happens to be my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm turning 50 years old. And
Shout out.
thank you. One of the challenges that we're having today, it's called Knockout Opiate Abuse Day. And what we're asking is for citizens to go out in their neighborhoods. We give 25 door knockers out. It's just to bring out awareness. I have, if most of you may have known, my sister was a county employee. She worked 23 years. She retired on July 1st of 2013 and died 25 days later. Unfortunately, from a misuse of drugs and alcohol. So that is also her birthday. We had the same exact birthday. So to Eva on her 57th birthday, just wanted to know if I could pass these out to the board, and hopefully you can give us a hand in doing the prevention efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you for sharing that story. God bless you. I know how that feels to lose a loved one to addiction. And I think the door knockers that's awesome. It really is. Okay. Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Mr. Paul Vecchio.
No questions.
Freeholders. All right, hearing none. Please list it for action later this evening. And let's move to resolution number 10.
Madam President, item 10 is a contract to award to Sugar Property Services to provide landscape services to various Essex County locations. 2-year contract from October 1, 2017 to September 30, 2019. And Mr. Antonio is here to address your concerns and questions.
Good evening, David Antonio, Department of Public Works.
Good evening, David.
Thank you. This is a 2-year contract for landscaping services that are at 7 different locations, 12 total buildings, and Clarence from Sugar Property Services is here to address any further questions the board may have.
Good evening, Madam President, of chosen freeholders and those in attendance. My name is Clarence Nathaniel Scoggins III, Project Manager at the Sugar Group, Sugar Property Services. We've had the opportunity to service the County of Essex for nearly 25 years or so. Currently, we are in the midst of multiple contracts for landscaping services. I have one contract up at the South Mountain Recreation Complex. We also have another contract at the multiple administrative offices, and I believe That's what this one in particular is, and we also have for your parks as well. As stated previously, this is for roughly, it looks like it's more than 8 locations. It's this whole Hall of Records area. There's also the parking lots, driveways, veterans, courthouse, the Leroy Smith building, the historic courthouse building area, the Essex County Sheriff's Patrol headquarters, the Public Works and Senior Services building, the Essex County Public Works Roads and Bridges building, I think that's the newer building, and the Essex County Daycare Center as well. And last but not least, the Essex County Economic Development Center, 50 South Clinton, that was referenced prior.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Mr. Paul Vecchio.
Just a comment that this was, that Shogger was the lowest responsive and responsible bidder on this item.
Freeholder Seabolt.
I would like to commend the Shogger Group for doing such excellent work here in Essex County. Everything you do works out fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pat, live for the day you say stuff like that about me.
What?
I said I live for the day you say stuff like that about me.
You gotta get a job with the county and do excellent work, as Shogger Group does.
I got a job at the county. I don't think I'm doing that bad.
You're doing well.
Thank you. I commend you as Freeholder President. You do an excellent job.
You didn't say wonderful, so I don't know if it's real. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. Okay, so thank you, freeholders. Mr. McInerney is good. Mr. Paul Vecchio, thank you. Please list it for action later this evening. We're going to move to resolution number 11.
Yes, Madam President. The Township of Millburn has made a request of the county to lower the speed limits in 2 locations, Millburn Avenue and Essex Street. And again, Mr. Antonio is here to address this resolution.
David Antonio, Department of Public Works. The municipality of Millburn is petitioning the county to pass a consenting resolution to their already approved ordinance, which has dropped the speed limit on Essex and Millburn Avenues in Millburn down to 25 miles per hour in order to improve pedestrian safety and also vehicular safety in general.
So those of you with a lead foot, pay attention, because I did. All right, Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Mr. Paul Vecchio?
No questions.
Freeholders, Freeholder Richardson, and Mr. McInerney, can you approach?
I'd just like to know what the speed limit is at present. You're dropping it down from what to 25?
Through you, Madam President, I believe it's 35, but I would rather give you proper information, and I will get back to you.
30.
It's 30, Mayor? Thank you. It's just 30 then.
Thank you.
Mr. Paul Vecchio?
Freeholder Richardson, just anecdotally, on these streets over the last year or two, the township has done some complete streets, so they've narrowed. What used to be 3 lanes is now down to 2. Some went from 3 lanes to basically 1.5, so it makes some sense. What used to be 30 or 35 miles an hour doesn't really work anymore on a much more narrow street.
Thank you.
Freeholder Seabolt?
Thank you. There's been a lot of dissension in Millburn about this Complete Streets program. How does this factor in with what's going on there?
Through you, Madam President, this is consenting to a reduction in speed, posted speed limits. It is not consenting to the principle of the project or narrowing of any lanes or implementing any kind of streetscaping. Correct. It's just reducing speeds, which have been identified as being perhaps too high by the municipality.
All right, because there's been a real problem in Millburn.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Freeholders? All right, hearing none, please list it for action later this evening. Let's move to resolution number 12. Mr. Jackson?
Madam President, item 12 is awarding a contract to 4 responsive and responsible bidders to provide building materials through the Department of Public Works. And again, Mr. Antonio is here for this item as well.
David Antonio, Department of Public Works. The Department of Public Works also houses the Division of Buildings and Grounds. We have tradesmen, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, locksmiths, etc., and they need tools, but they also need supplies. This is a 2-year contract that gives them the ability to purchase lumber, locks, sheetrock, whatever the case may be. It's a not to exceed contract of $90,000 from the 4 listed vendors in this area.
Thank you. Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Mr. Paul Vecchio?
No questions.
Freeholders? Okay. Hearing none. Please move to Resolution 13.
Item 13 is again Department of Division of Buildings and Grounds. This is a contract to Rotundi & Sons for leaf collection, and Mr. Antonio is up again.
David Antonio, Department of Public Works. The Division of Roads and Bridges maintains roads. That also includes picking up leaf when this curbside pickup is coming up in the fall. We usually supplement our own labor with contracted services to make the process faster, expedited, more efficient. Mr. Rotundi Mr. Rotundi is here with us today, and he'll be able to answer any questions the board may have.
Yes, please come forward.
How you doing?
Well, how are you?
Good.
Would you like to tell us about your company, what you do, your name for the record, your experience?
My name is Angelo Rotundi. I'm the owner of S. Rotundi & Sons. We've been doing the contract for several years now, removing the leaves from the county roads in Essex County. And that's what we do. During leaf season, we remove them from various streets that you guys tell us to go to. We collect them, we bring them to our facility, and we compost them. We've been doing it for maybe on and off 10 years now, this contract.
Okay,
So
thank
we're the
you.
low bidder again.
Thank you. So it's, when we tell you what streets to go to, is there a constant route that you have to take?
The roads and bridges guy tells us where to go, where the crew will be collecting the leaves. I think they have a schedule themselves where they tell the homeowners to put them out at a certain time. And after they put them out, then they let us go over to the road and we clean them up and take them away.
Do you have trucks that have your name on it that are riding around?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I recognize the name. And
Yeah, we also run the Essex County compost facility on the S-turns for you guys. We've been doing that for several years too. Okay, so.
Thank you.
Hey.
Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Freeholders? Mr. Paul Vecchio?
No questions.
Freeholders, Richardson?
Yeah, do you employ any Essex County residents?
I don't really know offhand. We have over 30 employees. I'm not sure of all their locations where they live.
Please get us that information. I'd like to know if you employ, since you've been working here in Essex County for several years, 10 years, doing the compost, I'd like to know if you at least employ someone from Essex County.
I could look up our records and let you know.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Freeholders? All right.
Madam President, just as a housekeeping item, that should be Division of Roads and Bridges, not Buildings and Grounds.
Thank you. We're going to move to, thank you very much. We're going to move, list this for action later this evening, move to resolution number 14. Mr. Jackson?
Yes, Madam President. This is a contract for collection and disposal of garbage at various Essex County locations. It's a 2-year agreement with Farisi & Sons. And again, Mr. Antonio is here to answer your questions.
David Antonio, Department of Public Works. Buildings and Grounds is also charged with picking up garbage. Obviously, we have a lot of facilities. There's a lot of garbage generated that must be picked up on a timely basis for public health to be satisfied. There is a gentleman here from T. Farisi. He would like to come up and introduce himself and his company.
Good evening, Madam President, Board. My name is Steve Lovejoy. I'm the CFO of T. Farisi.
Can you pull the mic close?
Sure. I'm Steve Lovejoy, CFO of T. Farisi & Sons in Direct Waste. We currently service your contract right now. Look forward to continue servicing the contract. We do employ about 100 employees, and about 40 of them do reside in Newark. Right? I'd say we do about Newark school systems. We do. You've probably seen our trucks all over the place, and we continue to do that. Any questions?
Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Mr. Paul Vecchio?
No questions.
Freeholders? Now you want me to tell you I saw your trucks on the road.
I'm sure you have.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you
Please
very
list it for action later this evening. Freeholders, are there any questions or comments for resolutions 15 through 39?
Excluding.
Yes.
Freeholder Seabolt?
Thank you. I'd like to be included on number 39.
Excluding 24.
Okay, Freeholder Seabolt on number 39. Would you all like 39 to be by acclamation?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, 39 is by acclamation. Are there any other questions or comments?
Madam President, if I may, just again by way of housekeeping, on number 14, it should be doing business as direct waste services, not direct water services.
Not here.
Ours, okay. Ours on our agenda says waste.
Okay, that was corrected. The
Thank
earlier
you.
version had water, so I just want to make sure it says waste.
Thank you. Okay, so hearing no questions.
I'm sorry, Madam President. Also, too, we will
You only get one more.
Withdraw number 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would like to withdraw number 3?
Please.
Okay, so we're not going back to number 3.
So that's going to be this.
We'll withdraw by the administration for action at our later meeting. Withdrawn by the administration is resolution 2, 3, as well as 4. Resolution number 1 was already voted on. Freeholders, is there any need to remove from a collective vote resolutions number 5 through 39? Freeholder Richardson?
Number 10.
Number 10? Okay. Freeholders? So maybe we should do it the same style we did it at the last meeting in Montclair? All right. Motion to take resolutions 5 through 39?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Seabold, second by Freeholder Bobadilla. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Toro.
Yes.
Freeholder Seabolt.
Yes.
Freeholder Richardson.
Yes on everything except for 10. On 10, the president not voting.
President not voting. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes, I would also like to add my vote in the affirmative yes for Resolution 1.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Gill, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder President Timberlake.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you. Are there any report of any board committees? Any legislative reports? Any written communication? Any unfinished business?
Madam President,
Mr. McInerney?
just last meeting, there was, the Montclair meeting where we voted on a contract, a 3-year contract for snow plowing at $10 million. The question was, what's in the snow plowing reserve account? So the administration got back, and just to close the loop on that, there's roughly $3.9 million of additional reserve money that the county has in case of emergencies with regard to snow plowing, if we go over budget. So we've been able to put that aside, which is very prudent on the part of the county.
Okay. All right. All right. So everybody's good. Any written communication? Thank you, Mr. McInerney. Unfinished business? New business to discuss? Now moving to public comment session again. If there's any members of the public wishing to comment.
Good evening again, freeholders and Madam President. I'm All Right Cowboy, District Leader 48, down in Newark, South Ward. I wanted to reiterate on what we was talking before, on what you were saying that you have checked on me for finding a place, and I wanted to reiterate and say that that I had only heard one time of a building in the South Ward that I was looking at, and that was only efficiency apartment. And I had 2 rooms of furniture. And I said I would take rooms anywhere in that area of Newark. It didn't make any difference. In fact, I filled out application at 515 Elizabeth Avenue, and last March, and I was told that I had turned down an apartment at 515, a 2-bedroom apartment for my brother and myself, the July 1st, and I want to say that that was a lie, because I have only talked to one time to Isaac, who that I was directed to, and then since you had told me who to call.
Mr. Cowboy,
Yes.
we're going to have a meeting in my office with all of the people from the department, okay? And we're going to make sure that everything gets straight, and I'm going to be there present to be witness, because it's you know, I understand, and I don't mean to jump in on your 3 minutes. Everybody has a right to 3 minutes. But, you know, we have absolutely, I've been hearing that we have tried to help and that there's some things, and then you come and you tell me one other thing too. So now what we have to do is, you know, we're going to get some, you come on, we're going to meet in my office and get this thing settled, okay?
I appreciate that.
But unfortunately, because I am one person and there's only 24 hours in the day, I don't have the time to always do that. But with this particular situation, we're going to once and for all nip it in the bud.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. And I wanted to say one thing again. The fields that playing the football from the leagues, the little leagues, and all the way up to the bigger kids, on a Sunday, I was there early in the morning till late at night, till the evening, and there's thousands of people coming around there, and there is not enough porta potties, like I said, and I see them all around the trees, and they can't wait, and it's a shame that those things haven't been dealt with. And I would like to hear more about that too. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public? Ms. Jackson?
No, Madam President.
You share a last name.
You want to go first, sir?
No.
I would like to offer my help to Ms. Hand in reference to getting Newark to jump on this drug prevention campaign, et cetera. So I'm going to call her. I don't understand how we're not involved in that, because you know, another alarming number, we've almost tested 200 children in Newark, public and charter schools, already for drug use since school has opened. And a lot of us haven't even been in school a month yet. So it's very alarming, and I know those numbers can be reciprocated, unfortunately, throughout the county. So we have to be involved in this. It's just scary. I'd also like to ask and add on to the football games, which I'm so glad we're having a good time. I'm glad people are coming out. But if we could just ask maintenance if they could tie some plastic bags onto the side of the receptacles, and maybe a couple on the gates. I don't know, because on Sunday there are a lot of people and it overflows, and unfortunately sometimes we have to stand and direct people. You don't see the bag right there? You know, don't pop, because people like to pile it on top of the receptacle rather than put it in the bag. So some of us volunteer and put it in there, but just a couple more bags as well, because they get full quickly. And some teams are selling actual food, so that makes the process more. One thing, if we could just review the monitoring reports for the contracts that we have at 50 South Clinton and 18 Rector. I would like us to almost do a on-the-job inspection. Maybe go to some of these providers and see that they're actually doing it. It's easy to put things on paper. Oh yeah, I got 40 people came in, and 13 people got a GED, and 15 people got a diploma. It's easy for them to fill these reports out and send it. It's a lot harder if we start showing up. And I think that some of the things we should do is add an exit interview for the recipients, for the clients, to talk to you guys about what happened. Because a lot of times they'll say the person completed, and they have the paperwork, and they don't. I think we need to also move away from GED. The Fortune 500, 400 companies are not taking it. In 2018, the military will no longer accept the GED as a diploma. So we have to be very careful as to where we're giving our training dollars and what they're doing. Most people are moving away from the GED, and there's, various reasons why, but a lot of people aren't passing the GED test either, so we just need to look at where we're putting our training dollars. And I also would like you guys to monitor the payout of the rental and mortgage assistance. I know an officer who I directed to that program, and went through it for a year, and he did not get it. So I think that we just need to be careful. We are putting safeguards in place for families, and particularly if our immediate family, those who work here, get in a little trouble and can't get assistance, that means the rest of the people are having it a little rougher. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public?
Good evening once again. My name is Courtney Williams, Newark resident and also business owner. Last meeting, you guys stated that there would be a new landscaping company dealing with the issues in different parks. I just wanted to know, will the landscaping include the trees that are taking over the track, the trees that are coming out of the gates, or is it just mowing?
In which park are you speaking in specific
Park,
to?
I apologize.
Okay. So we'll get the answer to that regarding that landscaping.
Because so far it's just been mowing lawns and not any shrubbery or anything like that has been cut.
Thank you. And Ms. Jackson, I'm making a formal request to the administration, just add another trash can where there's one, maybe put two, if that's possible. I don't know if a whole feasibility study needs to be done to do it, but, I just want to make sure that, I know what you're talking about, that look where everything just piles around. It's not that people don't want to put it in the trash, the trash is full.
Right.
Yeah, so we want to keep our parks and also the wildlife that y'all know I love so much in the lake, safe. All right? Any other members of the public?
Roasted goose.
Okay. Hearing none, motion to adjourn?
Move it. We have